Welcome to ASRM Today, a podcast that takes a deeper dive into the current topics in reproductive medicine.
I'm Jeffrey Hayes, and today on the show, I'm talking with Dr. Sigal Klipstein. Dr. Klipstein is a reproductive endocrinology and infertility specialist at Envia Fertility Specialist in Chicago, Illinois. Dr. Klipstein, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. Well, how did you get interested in reproductive medicine?
I always liked science. I always thought I'd be a doctor. And then as I progressed, I really liked OBGYN. And then I realized I really like technology, and I like science, and I like the fact that things keep changing. And I couldn't think really of a better field than reproductive medicine, because every day is something new. And I was also involved and interested in ethics, and reproductive ethics, I think, is one of the more fascinating aspects of ethics that one can study. So it all just kind of came together into this perfect blend of a career that's very satisfying.
So you are the chair for the upcoming 2023 ASRM postgraduate course in New Orleans, The Effect of a Changing Legal and Genetic Landscape on Ethical Considerations in Reproductive Medicine. This course is aimed at clinicians, nurses, mental health professionals, lawyers, and all those involved in third-party arrangements, and will help them better understand the ethical underpinnings of reproductive decision-making. How did this session come about?
So we spoke in our ASRM ethics committee about the fact that it would be a great idea to have a postgraduate course on ethics. There hasn't been one in quite a number of years, and we thought that that was kind of a glaring absence that we wanted to rectify. And there's so many changes right now, a lot of questions now with the changing landscape in terms of women's reproductive rights and how that sort of leaches over into issues that affect us as members of ASRM. And so we have this great team of both reproductive endocrinologists, as well as other professionals, including a reproductive lawyer and a reproductive psychologist. And so together we're putting on this wonderful team. It'll be myself, Susan Crockett, Julia Woodward, and Dr. Katie Cameron. And we're each taking a little piece of this pie and trying to understand how these changes in reproductive rights essentially affect us on the ground in terms of what happens to embryo, what is an embryo, what's embryo disposition, how does this affect a gestational carrier, depending on if she lives in one state or another. And it'll be really quite interactive. We're using vignettes. It'll be discussions in small groups and in large groups. And we really want to delve deeply into these ethical issues that really affect us every day. The nice thing about the ASRM Ethics Committee and sort of practical ethics in general is that we don't just sort of cogitate over these ethical issues. We really have to put them in action. And so we really want to have kind of a little bit of a primer on ethical underpinnings, but then use this as a launching pad to understand how we use these ethical principles in the decisions that we make every day. We're certainly going to involve the audience to see what issues they've dealt with and really almost troubleshoot from an ethical and a pragmatic standpoint, these issues that I think we're all dealing with. So I'm really looking forward to putting it all together and meeting a lot of people and having people work together that are coming really from different perspectives, not just reproductive endocrinologists, because there are so many people in the mix that make this world of ours go round, and we all have vested interests. There's so many of us as stakeholders, and we want to get all the stakeholders in a room together to contemplate what the future will bring for our field.
Absolutely. And I, of course, am looking forward to sticking my head in the door and catching a little bit of this, but I have a backstage pass. For those of you who don't have a backstage pass, there is still time to register for ASRM 2023 to come participate in this wonderful postgraduate course, The Effect of a Changing Legal and Genetic Landscape on Ethical Considerations in Reproductive Medicine, as well as many, many others. For more information, go to www.asrmcongress.org. Dr. Klipstein, thank you so much for taking time out to be on the show.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Absolutely. And we will see you in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
And until next time, I'm Jeffrey Hayes, and this is ASRM Today.
This concludes this episode of ASRM Today. For show notes, author information, and discussions, go to asrmtoday.org. This material is copyrighted by the American Society for Reproductive Medicine and may not be reproduced or used without express consent from ASRM. ASRM Today series podcasts are supported in part by the ASRM Corporate Member Council.
The information and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of ASRM and its affiliates. These are provided as a source of general information and are not a substitute for consultation with a physician.